Hi everyone, Dion Johnson here from fedupatwork.com, and it's day 10 of my 21-day video challenge, Create a Better Work Life. Now, think back to day 7 when I asked you to think about what you wanted to do with your life. We spoke about how important it was for you to think of your life as one life, that when you think about what you want, you thought about it in the context of your life so that you can begin to set goals that reflected who you are and what you want to do with your one life. Do you remember that video? Well, since that video went out, I've received some emails and some calls from some of you who are saying things to me like, Dion, I don't know what I want. I'm really struggling to decide what I'm going to do with my life. I don't know who I am. And, for some people, that's cool. It's okay to not know. It's okay to not decide. It's okay to just get up every day and just roll with the flow and see what happens. But for some people, they wake up in a season of their life and they think, you know what? I'm really craving clarity. I really want a stronger sense of direction and purpose and a clearer meaning for my life. Well, if that's you, then I decided that over the next few days, I'm going to make some videos to help you start to get more clear about what you want to do with your life and who you are. And I'm going to be sharing with you some of the lessons that I've learned. I mean, this point that we're going to be talking about over the next few days actually is one of the biggest learnings that I've had over the last decade of my journey. I am excited about sharing this with you because it's the area that has made the biggest impact on the way that I live my life, and I'm hoping it will have the same impact on you. Now, I want to kick off by suggesting that the 3 things that people have been saying they're struggling with in this exercise are 3 separate things. So who you are is one thing, and what you want, what you desire is another thing. And what you decide to do with your life is another thing again. And although I know that these 3 things, when life is cushy, when life is going great guns, usually these things are working in harmony all together. But for the purpose of developing the clarity and developing your understanding about who you are and what you want to do, I'm suggesting that you deal with them as 3 separate things. Who you are, what you want, and how you're going to decide to live your life and what you'll do with that life. So let me kick off by saying to you the first thing, the very first fundamental understanding that I've gained around this. Who you are and what you do and how you do it are separate things. So I'm going to give you a story to illustrate this point. Okay, so the very first king of Israel was called Saul. King Saul had a son called Jonathan, and when Jonathan and Saul died, King David, who took the throne, who was their successor, wanted to honour the royal family, so he sent out a word to ask for any living relatives from the royal family. And one of the servants said, yeah, I think Jonathan had a son, and he's living in a land called Unfruitful in the back and beyond in a children's home. And David said, go and get him. And when they went to get him, they found him living in a place called Unfruitful. He was living in a really unfruitful life. He was living in a children's home. He was lame. He couldn't walk. He couldn't progress. He couldn't do anything for himself. And that story always makes me really excited because here's a king. He is the king's grandson. He is an possible heir to the throne. He is royalty. Yet he's living a life of squalor and unfruitfulness. So you see, I really want you to get this point. What you do and who you are not the same thing. And I want you to try and make the distinction in your mind between them. I think it will help in this whole process of getting clear. As we go along the videos in the next few days, I'm going to be reiterating that finding clarity about who you are and what you're going to do with your life is a process. It's not an event. It's a process. But I'm going to be giving you tips and strategies and some of my key learnings around this over the next few days. So don't miss one at all. Now remember, who you are and what you do are just not the same thing. See you later.